Luke, can you feed me that line?
Luke's house.
Oh, what? What up, round two of the show? What up, end? Here at Luke's house, and we're about to do this interview, talking about my Adidas SUPEREARTH collab. Super hyped.
Perfect. That was it.
Oh man, Graham, fucking nailed it.
Yeah, you did. Hey everybody, it's me, Luke Fracher. I'm here with End and Sean Wotherspoon.
What up?
We're going to talk about something we're both very excited about, his new collab with Adidas. What's up? How are you? What's going on?
Doing well, chilling. You know, nice to be here in LA.
It is.
Some hot weather.
It is. It's been so fucking hot.
It's been way too hot, actually.
Yeah, we've been inside in this house for the last 4 days.
It's nice.
Haven't left.
Well, while you're here, I've been getting the stores together. I'm just.
All right. So, could you tell me, so you're doing the Adidas collab.
Yeah.
You're doing this thing called SUPEREARTH.
Yep.
Could you kind of explain, what SUPEREARTH is, the story behind it?
Yeah. So SUPEREARTH was pretty much the idea of just our Earth being this superpower and just being able to provide us with all the resources, whether it's a natural resource or a man-made resource or the people, and just we kind of have everything we need to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wanted to kind of touch on these things in a sustainable way, kind of look at the more recyclable aspects of the super earth, and look at more natural ways to incorporate in the design of sneakers and clothes, things like that. Because then we think if we're using our earth in this super way, and then kind of together we'll just keep working, it could be the best relationship,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea between everything you've done from round two up to this, is kind of using resources in the most sustainable way, whether it's reselling stuff that's already been made or making new stuff that is made in a sustainable way, or recycling old product, right?
Yeah, it's kind of our thing, right? I think when we started round two, that's what got it really our heads kind of thinking that way, even before people were on the whole sustainable
100%,
go green thing, and we didn't even know we were on it, right?
That's what I'm saying. I remember that was never even really a thought for us, but it really once people kind of brought it to our attention and we started thinking about things through that lens,
we're
we
really can do this.
Yeah, it really was a great feeling.
It became authentic for us, and that's why that's why it's in all my work as well, because it's such an organic thing that we could do something. We do things that are theoretically sustainable or whatever without knowing it.
Yeah.
So once we take a look back and articulate that process, then define it as that, there's it's
put our
cool.
minds to sustainability.
There's more value to it, and so it's nice that we're able to do that in an organic way.
100%.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So how's it been? You've worked with a few different, clothing, shoe companies. Mm-hmm. How's it been working with Adidas compared to anyone else, or just working with Adidas?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think everyone kind of differs, and that's what's cool. And that's what's cool being a sneakerhead in general. I mean, I think we can all say growing up, it's you had one pair, you had one silhouette you liked from this brand, you had one silhouette you liked from this brand, or you wore a basketball shoe from them, a soccer shoe from them, whatever it is. And so I think every company has something different to offer. I think it's really fun working with Adidas right now because we're super aligned with just what we see as being the future of design, sneakers, and etc., and just the future of the earth in general. And so I think we just have a lot in common, even just outside of sneakers. Just I think they're kind of focused on the same thing. So I think that's why this relationship is fun, just because as opposed to maybe what it's been in the past, where having my product be plant-based or vegan or sustainable was a nice bonus on top of it being this kind of streetwear fashion hype inspired thing. I think now is more we are looking at the opposite way, where we're trying to figure out the sustainable factor first, and then okay, this is cool on top of it. So the bonus on top of this is that it's cool, but it's fully this sustainable vegan plant-based thing.
Do you feel with Adidas there's been less pushback to do vegan and sustainable stuff compared to other companies you've worked with?
I don't know about I mean, it's just been easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I said we've been so aligned just mentally with what we want to do, that it feels there's been no pushback, because it feels every idea I come up with, they're yes. Yeah, we were thinking that, or we gotta do this, or you know what I mean? So it just seems it's worked out really well. If I bring up an idea and they haven't been thinking about it already, they're obviously down to try it out. And then if they have been thinking about it, that's great, because then we're both working towards the same thing.
Yeah.
So cool. It's sick. Yeah, it's been nice. And very mutual,
That's good.
Yeah.
Besides the sustainability, I mean, what are your thoughts on kind of the history or legacy of Adidas?
I think Adidas has like actually a really crazy history. When I was going through their DNA, I was learning so much stuff I didn't know. You had to like fact check me a little bit, but like their shit goes back to like the Cold War or whatever, like way back, and it's just nuts. Like I feel like their history goes super deep. Like it was crazy being in Germany and seeing like that history in a completely different country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like a lot of other brands' history, although like all these brands have like a huge presence like overseas or whatever, I think a lot of these brands have a lot of like history in America and the US.
Definitely.
And so like going out to Germany and like seeing this like really like this German history of Adidas and like learning about, you know, seeing like the area where they started and stuff, it was just crazy.
Did they have like a crazy like archive they let you dig through?
Yeah, I know the archive was crazy. The DNA was really cool. I think that's also what's interesting about Adidas is we've seen pretty much everything of every other sneaker company. You know what I mean? Like we've seen it all. Like it's all out there.
Everyone's bringing back all these
we know it. We
silhouettes,
know
right?
what the archive looks like. You know what I mean? And so Adidas is still super untapped, and it's what gets me excited to really like work with them and, you know, kind of plan out the next like few years with them. Hopefully, is that like, man, there's handfuls and handfuls of silhouettes I want to bring back. Like in a
so your mind is like racing through like things that you want to like bring back that people haven't seen yet.
It's actually super overwhelming. It's like way overwhelming. Like there's way too much, and it kind of blows my mind. I'm like, why are they not pulling more of these out? So they're just like, I think Adidas is like ready for this crazy.
Do you think they're waiting for like the right person to come, but kind of like bring?
I don't think that they're like waiting for the right person. I think that like just subconsciously, like the brand's like poising itself for like this huge like resurgence of all their old models and silhouettes. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I just like feel the vibe that that's for sure gonna happen. And like I just hope I'm there for it.
It's gotta be exciting to think that you could be part of that.
I hope so, because there's like at least 10 specifically that I really want to fuck with. Like there's so many good OG silhouettes, and there's like, you know, there's all these like Nike archive pages and like Nike DNA pages, like whatever, and people, you can see like this full, everyone knows what exists.
100%.
And so I just feel like that's not quite there for Adidas. Like no one's super dug in. Like we don't know hundreds and hundreds of silhouettes that possibly exist or that are in that DNA. And so I love the opportunity to like take something from the 80s or 90s that literally like no one knows and then reintroduce that. It'll look like a completely new product, but essentially it's straight from the DNA, you know?
Well, that's what's kind of crazy to me about Adidas is like I remember reading like the Sneaker Freaker articles about the dudes who are like digging shit out of like South America Adidas, you know, before
all those like Italian
before like the internet, you know, I think they were kind of doing things more disjointed. Like they have silhouettes that just came out in South America or just came out in Europe. So like to be able to find stuff that like maybe only came out one part of the world, or like it's gotta be exciting.
Yeah, no, I think that there's just so much to find. So it's been exciting to dig in.
Awesome. What new things have you learned through your Adidas collab?
Man, I just been learning about a lot of new materials and like how to apply them and stuff. I think that's been one of the top things that we're all trying to learn about in general, is just how to educate ourselves on like more variety of like vegan leathers, you know, more opportunities for laces. Like we did like a 100% paper lace on the Superstar, which I thought was like pretty interesting, because like you don't initially think of paper as being strong, but they're like the strongest thing I've ever like held in my life. It's pretty sick. And so it's that as opposed to like, I think laces are typically like a nylon or like a polyester or something weird. I don't know. I've been learning a lot about the process too, which is really cool. Like,
of like actually making the shoes.
This has been like super hands-on, which I'm like in love with, because that's what I really like, is the process, learning about the machinery and like kind of how these weird things work. Like, dude, they had robots, like robotic arms at Adidas putting the boxes together. It was
like a car factory.
It was completely human free. There was like not one human involved.
Crazy.
It's like the shoe, like they would like pick up the shoes, and like, and then like this thing would like build this box, and then like take the shoes, place them in the box, wrap them in the tissue, and then it would like close the box all nice, and then it would like shoot them out, and then it would label it. It was nuts, dude. Like, and I met the dude who invented that machine. So like that was at Adidas like Herzo factory or whatever, and that's one where we're producing the Round 2 Sambas, actually, like the Round 2 Sports Sambas. And so those are all like made in that original factory, which is like, I think one of their first, it's one of the few that have like lasted through Adidas history out there. I guess the dude who runs that factory, he invented this machine and like got the patent for it and everything, and like, you know, I guess uses that with Adidas, and this is like his robot. It's so sick, dude. And we toured the whole factory, got to see like, you know, how Boost is made and things like that. Got to see how they make some of their different soccer cleats. Got to see them do like the Sambas.
You kind of touched on it a second ago, but like you know, we keep saying that your shoes are like sustainable. Like, what about them is sustainable? I know they're upcycled. I know they're like vegan, but like
it's hard to say something's like fully sustainable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But like, what's more sustainable about them?
Yeah, what's more sustainable about them is that man, I wish I was wearing them to show you. Can't even really show the shoe I'm wearing, by the way. I'm gonna have to even
grab a pair of Superstars for you to show.
Yeah, if you have them, that'd be dope. Yeah. It would be cool actually. We can blur these. That's my next joint.
So I don't know if you can show it around too once, but I have them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here's the Superstars. So here's the SUPEREARTHs. One of the things we did is we like kept all these extra materials. So essentially like this, you know, this would have been cut off, or like these edges and things like that would then be cut off. We just left them extra to reduce the amount of waste that we were producing along the way.
Oh, so like when they make a regular Superstar, they like put this on but then cut it off?
Yeah, exactly. And so it would be like cut like around, and that's how they make like the back tab and stuff. But we left it on there. And then, I mean, just like in the design process, I didn't even originally want, you know, the strings to be like hanging down. I just wanted to do like this cool embroidery. But then when we were kind of going through like how they do this, there would have been these extra threads that get cut off. So we're like, actually, maybe we should just leave them to, again, reduce like that little bit of waste that we'd be producing with the shoe. And it looked cool. Like I really like the style. Everyone's been kind of fucking with it. So that's sweet. And then we used all recycled rubber. So,
I was about to ask about kind of the speckling.
Yeah, so it's all like a composite of like just different recycled rubbers, you know, so we didn't have to cut down more trees to make this, which is really nice.
Oh, so they were able to like take rubber that they had pre-existing and kind of like
and there's like companies that like wholesale that stuff as well, where it's like they're recycling rubber and then they're selling that out. So I think, I don't know who we got it from, but I'm sure Adidas would know more about that. Then the tongue was just from like one of their soccer models. We use the cork insole, which is like a recyclable material. All the leather is vegan, so it's all vegan leather, and it's actually super nice.
Cool.
Like it's like actually really nice vegan leather.
I'm looking at these, like where did you get the rainbow color palette from?
I just like using a lot of color. Yeah, and this one was like almost a little toned down rainbow a little bit with like the added black in there.
For sure.
So there's actually a few different versions as well. This one's a
this is the F&F, which is the all white, right?
Yeah, the all white. And then the ones that are gonna come out have the I Stays baby blue and then like a light pink, and then we also changed the stripe colors. These ones were like, I think we did 200 pairs of these, and I like personally gifted these to friends and family, and then like any homies who kind of reached out and were like, yo, I need a pair or whatever. I think we're gonna keep the theme going for my next shoe. Yeah. Which are on my feet right now, which Graham is so kindly blurring out. Ha. But yeah, no, we're gonna keep the theme kind of going with the embroidered flowers a little bit. So you'll see like touches of that on the next shoe. We're just gonna keep like trying to use as many materials as like Adidas has laying around. So they're kind of giving me like.
Is that kind of like what's dictating kind of like how you're going forward?
Exactly.
It's like, here's what we have to work with sustainably, so here's what kind of what I want to do with it.
So even being said that, they're giving me like full, like just do whatever you want. Like there is limitations now inherently because.
Are you giving yourself those limitations?
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't want to have every option open, because then we will be creating more waste. We'll be ordering stuff that we don't need to order.
100%.
We'll be getting things produced we don't need to be getting produced. So it's kind of cool. What I had them like put together for me, it was almost like a tool set of like, you know, what I can use, like what's available. So they're kind of going through like the factories, like, and evaluating what extra materials that they have, like what they have extra from like a past season that maybe they over ordered. And so like what I'm taking on as my job is like going through and like using everything we can. So then essentially Adidas gets to a point where they have zero waste, you know, within the company, and then are also producing like as close to zero waste as possible with the sneakers. And I think like also like, you know, fact check this or whatever, but I think in the next couple years, their goal is to have like all the sneakers like in the lifestyle maybe category vegan or so, but they're making some move to do like all their
way less
vegan,
real leather
with like vegan leather, which is kind of crazy, super crazy. So I know that they're doing a lot, and this was actually originally part of the Clean Classic. So I think now you can get like the Stan Smith, maybe the Gazelle, the Superstar, and maybe a top 10. I want to say it's like a top 10 high and top 10 low. You can get those vegan as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's kind of sick.
That's
kind
cool.
of sick. Yeah, and actually, now that I'm like holding these, something I want to talk about is, it was cool how when we were designing the shoe, we were using these like the recycled rubber and things like that. We were starting to find out how it differed from regular rubber. And I guess that was a bad example. But even like the sole of the Samba, it's like, it's a hard rubber, you know?
This is a lot softer. I was squeezing it the whole time.
It was the first thing I noticed, like, when we were going through. I like went like this, and I'm like, damn, like, it almost feels like a wallaby sole.
Yeah.
You know, and then I put them on, and you couldn't tell too much, but it is a lot softer when you walk, and it feels good.
Is it more comfortable?
Yeah, it is, dude, it is.
The F&F pair is all white with the kind of bright colors, but the pair that people are going to have access to is going to have like pastel colors.
It's same color flowers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on the leather.
On the eye stain.
And you know, a lot of the shit that you've done has pastel. What drives you towards pastel colors versus like brighter colors? Because even like the way you dress, you wear a lot of pastels.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like they're a little bit easier on the eyes, but then still colorful.
Mm-hmm. Does this all just go back to the daisy selling thing?
You know what? I think it's just because I was king of the daffodils.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's
really what it comes down to. Yeah, dude, when I was younger, in like, I guess 94 or something like that, they did this thing in New Jersey where you had to like sell a bunch of daffodils, and I just like sold a ton of daffodils, I guess. And at the local mall, Regis Philbin crowned me king of daffodils.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
I mean, you grew up 100% on the East Coast, New Jersey and Virginia, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like, you know, the thing that draws me to pastel colors is like, you know, the best time weather-wise on the East Coast is springtime around Easter, you know, April,
really
May.
is, dude. Yeah.
And so like those type of colors have like a weird draw to me just based off like the nostalgia of like it being cold or too hot most of the year, and that when it's like, you know.
Do you think we see more flowers in color on the East Coast too? Because out here it's really green.
It's like all poppies, you know, like there's more like different colors I think on the East Coast.
I feel like we get more like range of wildflowers out there, so maybe that's why I like the color too. You know? Yeah. Because like, did your parents have like the flower beds growing up, where your mom would have like tulips and like?
Well, didn't they have the shit on TV where you could just buy it as like a roll of flower seeds, and you're just like,
maybe
I think we
that's
had that where it's like
dude.
You roll the shit out like sod, and just all these flowers come up. Yeah,
sick.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the legacy Adidas, like I remember wearing Sambas when I was a kid. Do you have any memories from your childhood of like wearing Adidas or athletes that you loved growing up who wore Adidas?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sambas were my thing. I played a lot of soccer, so even before skateboarding, like I got a whole trophy room of trophies in my dad's basement somewhere. Like I would go to Modell's and Sports Authority specifically.
I remember Sports
and I would
Authority,
just like,
dude.
I would be so hyped to get to the Adidas section with the Sambas because they were pretty cheap too, which was nice.
They're like $45 back in the day, right? Did you ever skate in Adidas when you were? I remember
I had a pair of like the skate.
They were pushing the skate stuff right when we were in that kind of age
I had
range.
these like skate mids. I remember Graham had a couple pairs too of these like Gons, like these blue and yellow skate mids that were really cool. Actually, thinking back, we frequented the Adidas outlet. Yeah. It was when they were doing a lot of the added color stuff with like the Tokyo, the Paris,
I remember that.
And all that was really dope, dude. That was a cool era.
Have you skated these recycled rubber soles yet?
Yeah, they're nice.
Are they grippier than normal?
They're pretty grippy, and they have like really good board feel, honestly. Because like it's a little softer. So
exactly.
You can just feel that board a little more. But it's cool, yo. And then I think just like as I got older, I've been like a Mark Gonzalez fan like my whole life, and so he's always repped Adidas. He's done some like cool art with them.
Sean, thanks for coming over to my house, talking to me, all the wonderful people who are on End, shopping on End, Britain's greatest menswear website.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Excited.
Cool. Maybe you should invite me over again sometime.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe we can check End. I think they'll probably be releasing these guys. So maybe people can check back there.
Check it out.
Have an opportunity to own these guys.
Yeah.
Well, not this one because it's friends and family, but the GR version. Yeah.